Now again, this is the stack beetle, and we will use city block to see the inside, and then we will try to dilate or thicken it. So let's apply city block transform. So I have already done shrink wrap and I have turned off the updates. So mop, let me just to be sure, let's just shrink wrap, say 20. So the shrink wrap is done, and now let us apply city block. Mop city block, say 20, which is essentially eroding, but it's not complete erosion, but it is using the opacity of the outer region. Let us see how the mask buffer actually looks like. So let us just save the mask buffer into a texture and see how it looks. Mop save, and save it as a PNG file. Okay, so let's look at it. And you can see these regions here, so let me just blow up, and you can see these regions here. So there is a solid part, and this is the hazy cloudy thing, and this is where the city block transform has modified the mask values. Okay, so now let's use saturate saturate 0, and then set all the values that are less than 10, mask values less than 10 to 0. So look at that. There are these values that are above 10, but they are not fully saturated to 1. So let's saturate all the remaining values. Now in this case, anything above 0, just set it to the highest value in the mask buffer, which is 255. Now we can use 0 because we have already saturated everything that was below. We have already set that was everything below 10 to 0. So what we have now is all values that are not 0 will be above 10 or 11. So we can just safely say saturate everything that is above 0 to say 255. So we have done that. Now what we can do is we would like to just bit thicken this, so we can thicken that. Mop thicken. Now thicken is really the same as city block distance transform, except that thicken goes out into the empty space, whereas city block goes into the solid phase. So thicken and say 5 voxels, go 5, just do basically 5 iterations of thickening phase. And so this is what happens. So in this case, there were values on this region, and then it just went thickening. Now in this case, the thickening will have value 255 on the surface, and then 254 1 voxel beyond, then 253, 252, and so on. Whereas in case of city block, it will be 0 on the surface, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. That's why you get the cloudy effect when you use city block transform, whereas when you use the thicken, we don't get that cloudy effect because the mask values are much higher. It starts with 255 on the surface, and then as it goes into empty space, it just reduces the values from that 255.